no, and you have to prove to the insurance company to bill
Well,
them or
that's a
whatever.
whole nother story.
Okay.
But I mean, you're right. But the fact is, physical therapy is about $300 an hour. Physical therapist gets paid $60 an hour.
What?
Tell me why.
So $250 over 70% is like admin costs. That makes no sense at all.
So when I had my business and it was just me and I went to patients' homes, I had no overhead. That was a good business. I did my own billing.
That's crazy. I had no idea.
Yeah.
And it has recently started doing that. It's always been like that, so to speak.
Ever since they started buying up all the privately owned physical therapy practices and making them into groups.
Here's something else I don't agree with, right? I think it's against the law. You have like all these big corporations like BlackRock, like buying up homes now
Oh,
to rent them out.
funny thing about that, when people talk about it, it's like, oh, that sounds horrible. But I don't know if I can believe the data I've seen, but it's a very, very small percentage of homes that are being
Is
affected.
it? Okay.
Yeah, they shouldn't be doing that at
Yeah.
all.
I know
But
I
it's
get an email call every day from someone trying to buy my house.
oh, good for you. But
Yeah, because
I
the
don't think that that is
biggest thing is
the biggest problem with
okay,
our housing
okay,
crisis, and it is a crisis. So we need to build more housing. We're 10 years behind in our building. We had like a stall for 10 years. And so we're behind. And then we need to create that affordability, the whole spectrum. We can't just be building mega single family homes in Bellevue. And so I'd love to see a big house come down and three cottages go up. That
okay.
would make me happy to triple the amount of families that can live in the neighborhood.
Is there a way that we can change? Like I think like in the army, so I had like a VA loan, no nothing down, right? Most like civilians have to pay 20% down or pay mortgage insurance, right?
Right.
You think we can change that, or is this? Of course, I mean, I'm sure banks will say don't keep it in there because we're taking a risk and stuff like that. But 20%, most people don't have 20% for a house. I don't think these days.
So I'm going to just shift for a second to rentals. You're talking about home ownership. There's a amazing company called the Housing Connector, and anybody who is having trouble finding a rental that they can afford, check them out. They will help you pay the first and last month payment. They will offer insurance that will guarantee that you will make your payments or they'll make it for you if you don't make it 1 month. And so you get a lower rate when there's more assuredness for the landlord. So that's a company that I just love
Is
what
that
they're
local to
doing.
Seattle? It's like nationwide.
It's local in
Yeah. Okay.
Seattle. Yeah. So that I'm real a real fan of that company, and that's a great resource for people. I think what you're talking about is really interesting. I don't really know enough about housing finance to know the pros or cons of what you're saying, but I do know that there is a state initiative called the Black Home Initiative where they're trying to create home ownership for families that have a history of being held back from home ownership. And so that is something that they do is they reduce those payments so you
Okay.
don't have those. So I think it is a worthy idea and it can be very successful.
So you mentioned earlier about living wage. Is a living wage based on some amount of money, or is it like should it be different based on location, or like how does that come up?
Yeah, it's based on location.
Okay.
So living wage in Bellevue is $30 an hour.
Okay. Yeah. And I mean, people might say it's a lot of money, but really, it's $3 an hour is not a lot of money.
If you pay people more, they can spend more. And so if you want to increase what things cost, you're getting paid more, you can afford it.
Yeah.
That we have this thing where we want to keep costs way, way down. Want to keep wages way, way down. But the thing I didn't tell you is that the average CEO salary has gone up 200%.
Yeah. Easily.
I mean, that's not the cause of everything, but it's a mindset that we have. My dad had his own business in San Francisco, And he paid everybody a living wage, gave everybody a retirement package, paid everybody's health care. And when he sold the company, he put a caveat that said they couldn't fire a single worker that he had originally
Okay.
had in this, who had worked there more than 20 years. And it made it hard for him to find a buyer for his company. In fact, nobody would buy it.
If some
So
people they want to buy a company, they want to cut everyone.